What if the reason you're getting overlooked has nothing to do with your qualifications? In this episode, I sit down with career coach, resume strategist, and Empower Career Studio founder Carrie Christiano to discuss how hiring has changed, what recruiters are actually paying attention to, and why experience alone is no longer enough to stand out. We explore the role of AI in today's job market, how to position your value more strategically, and why networking remains one of the most powerful tools for career growth. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Career Growth for Working Women. This show is for women who are done waiting to be noticed and ready to be compensated for the value they already bring. I'm Shannon, a promotion and compensation coach, and I help women position themselves for real advancement, not by working harder, but by showing their value more strategically using what I call the 5% method. If you're ready for clarity, confidence, and career growth that actually pays off, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the show. My guest today is Carrie Christiano, and I think this conversation is especially important for women navigating career transitions, layoffs, promotions, or simply trying to understand why the rules of career growth seem to have changed. Carrie is a resume writer, career coach, and founder of Empower Career Studio. Her background includes recruiting, talent acquisition, and career coaching, as well as work with organizations like IBM and LexisNexis. What I appreciate about Carrie's perspective is she understands both sides of the hiring process. She knows what employers are looking for, but she also understands that what many professionals are experiencing right now, feeling overlooked despite years of experience and proven results. After navigating her own layoff during the 2009 economic downturn, Carrie shifted her focus to helping professionals stop relying on outdated job search advice and start approaching career growth more strategically. Today, we're going to talk about why experience alone no longer guarantees visibility, what hiring managers are actually paying attention to, and how women can communicate their value more effectively in a rapidly changing job market. Carrie, welcome. I'm so excited for this conversation.
Me too, Shannon. Really happy to be here.
So, you've worked on both sides of the hiring process. What are you seeing today that feels different from even 5 or 10 years ago?
Well, AI in the equation, both on the hiring end as well as on the candidate side. And I think we're all trying to figure it out, right? How to
Right.
use it responsibly and wisely. Because there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of taking things at face value, letting AI tailor your resume, not even really looking at what it gives you and submitting it. And then HR departments trying to figure out what to do with some of these automated applications coming in that are generated by AI, not even a real human. So it's the wild, wild west out there.
Right. I know it's a new terrain. I think, yeah, because I mean, like before you had to write everything out in typewriters. I mean, if that shows my age, but in computers and print it out, and now you can just put it into a computer. So I would think for both sides, it would have to be difficult. So how can you get that AI to like help you with your resume, but keeping it true to who you are and feel like you, so that when the HR person reads it, they feel like they get a little piece of you and they're not like, oh, this is totally AI.
Right, right. Well, I think you have to step back from that tangible, transactional nature of applying to a job online and hoping to get an interview, and stepping back and being strategic about who you are and where you want to go next in your career, and using tools like AI to help you do assessment of market opportunity and how you're going to insert yourself there. And I think the biggest challenge people have is we're used to being transactional. We're used to going to our browser and typing in uh, Italian restaurants in a 30-mile radius, right? Or
Right.
something, where we just expect a tangible answer to come back. But what if you were browsing job postings and you uploaded the job posting and your resume content and you said to ChatGPT, go online and tell me why this position is open? What's going on at this company right now that would prompt them to post this? Are there uh, organizational transformation, mergers and acquisitions, product launches. What trends, events, or pressures might be influencing hiring needs right now? And having an open-ended conversation with AI like a thinking partner so you can really understand what's going on rather than just throwing out a piece of paper and hoping it sticks.
I love that. I never had thought about it that way, but that is great. Like why, asking the why for behind it all, and then if it fits, and if it fits you, like does that makes a lot of sense. Wow, that's
Right. And
I
then rather than rewrite my resume summary to fit to the job description, ask ChatGPT, how should I position myself in terms of my value proposition? What's going to resonate with them? Those are questions that make AI think rather than just spit out interactive data and canned language, which people are starting to recognize. There's certain phrases and sentence structure and words that it uses every single time if you let it get away with it.
right. And so on that's on this side. Now, as the hiring manager, what are they actually paying attention to for candidates that candidates may be overlooking?
Um, well, there's pros and cons to what's happening on the HR side. Because, like I said, managing the process of thousands of applications coming in an hour,
Right.
they've set up these firewalls or some kind of identifying resumes generated by AI and not a human. And we don't really know exactly how that works at every single company, right? Because all different companies have applicant tracking systems.
Right.
But applicant tracking systems now have deeper capabilities than just aligning keywords on a job posting with keywords on a resume. It can look for relationships between skills. It can look for career development. It can look for, deeper insights from your resume rather than just making a decision about whether or not you're qualified based on percentage of keyword match. So I think that's the biggest insight to realize is that every word's important and communicating the right message and emphasizing the right things. You can use AI to really help you figure out what's going to make an impact on the other side of the equation and coming in with much more information than you would ever be able to gather manually going online and trying to figure out what are they going to respond to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you talk about being qualified. So what to you is the difference between maybe being qualified and being positioned for the job?
Um, well, every hiring team member is asking themselves three questions. Can you do the job? Will you do the job? And can I stand being around you while you do it? Right? So it's the attitude, aptitude, ability. It's not just are you physically capable of doing the work, but is it aligned with your career goals?
Mhm.
So when you get out of bed every morning, you are chomping at the bit to get to work and get it done. You're hungry to do a great job for us because this position, this company is aligned with who you are and where you want to go. So if you can't, it's beyond just proving you have the skills. I remember from when I was a recruiter and the first conversations I would have with applicants to try to vet them and decide if I was going to present them to hiring managers. My biggest responsibility, and this might surprise a lot of people, it wasn't so much to determine if you were qualified, if you had on paper the qualifications. It was, are you deliverable and are you a flight risk?
Oh,
Because if you're not aligned with this job and you say yes, you may not show up because something better is going to come along and you'll, or you say yes and your company gets a counteroffer and you weren't committed enough. You were just unemployed and desperate and you took the first thing that came up. So
right.
there's so much more going on in terms of making a match than just matching what's on the piece of paper in a job posting. Long answer, but
No, no, that was a great answer. I think that that's a great answer because I think the listeners are all curious about that. And so what would you tell the women listening that are they've built these careers, very successful careers by working really hard and they feel like their results should speak for themselves, but they're getting overlooked for maybe it's the next promotion or maybe they're not getting the raises that they want. What would you advise for them?
I think you have to have industry presence as well as internal reputation, right? So when somebody's at a company for a long time, they don't feel the need to articulate their value because they assume it's understood based on their history with the company.
Mhm.
And that may be the case, but I think it's still important for people to realize that if you can't talk about how you bring value to other people's and organizations and help companies achieve their goals, if that's not clearly messaged somewhere, people aren't going to come looking for it.
Right.
So it is important to think about, it's funny, I coach people on resumes and LinkedIn profiles and LinkedIn optimization, using the platform to network and meet people and gain introduction to decision makers. Then they get a job and they stop posting, they stop liking posts, they stop doing anything related to networking because, well, let's face it, it's work and you're busy. You've
Right.
landed this new gig and you want to, heart and soul into it. But try things like invite people to connect on LinkedIn that you've just started working with. Look at their profiles, look at their background and experience. Maybe there's some synergies there you didn't realize. Use that platform to really get to know people better inside your company, as well as continuing to monitor what's happening in your industries so you are current and relevant, not just at your own company, but in your industry space.
I love that advice because if you think about it, it really, you can set aside 15 minutes every few days to just go in and make connections on LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be a huge long process to do it, but it's important no matter what to continue to do that on a regular basis for just even like you said to get to know the people in your company, but also just to make those connections outside in with other people in your industry.
Yeah, I was mentioning to you earlier, Shannon, before we started recording too. I've had clients who come to me because they're not happy where they are. They feel they're being overlooked.
Right.
And we start talking about, okay, what do next steps look like? And how are we going to position you in terms of why you're the right fit for that kind of opportunity? And then we put together a beautiful resume, LinkedIn profile. Maybe they interview one or two places and they realize, you know what, maybe I don't have it so bad here. And now that I have more confidence in who I am, because I've taken the time and energy to invest in myself and find a way to communicate my value that feels authentic, not conceited. I think that's
Yes.
a fear people have.
I was gonna ask about
As
that. Yes.
we weren't raised as women to boast and brag
Right.
about ourselves, especially women, but not just women. People don't
Mhm.
like standing up on a pedestal with the spotlight on them, tap dancing. They don't see that. They don't want to be seen that way. But
Right.
you can speak to and insert yourself in situations and ask the question, how can I help? Where can I bring value? Do I have any insights to share that might be helpful to you? And I think
Right.
we have an obligation to do that in the community at large, in a world that has so much social media presence. You don't have to play the game of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, but you can be on a professional platform like LinkedIn and offer contribution. And you might end up having a more three-dimensional life where
Yes.
you're more than your work.
Yes.
I think it
Yes.
brings a lot of value on a number of levels.
Absolutely. I agree. And that was one of the things I was going to ask was like, how do you suggest these women that are like, well, I know I've done a lot and I know I'm really good at this, but I don't want to go in there and act like I'm bragging and boasting. How can I communicate to them my value and what I can bring confidently without it sounding boastful?
Right. Well, you ask yourself one question. Is this information relevant to this conversation or to this employer? You have to know what their pain points are and what their goals are so you can insert yourself into the conversation and tell them how you can help rather than just starting to talk about how great you are. and
Right.
hoping that some of it's relevant, right? So you need to figure out how to insert yourself in the situation. And people respond to that because it shows you've done your homework and it
Mhm.
shows you're focused on contribution.
Right. And that goes back to like learning about, especially like what we were talking about earlier with the position being opening, like understanding the behind the scenes of why that position may be open so that you can go in there with confidence to say, hey, this, I know that this is filling this void and I have this experience. And so therefore it's not bragging, it's, hey, I know I can do this
Right. And the other
confidently.
piece of this is the whole job application process, that visible market of applying online. I know that at least half of the time, especially when I was at LexisNexis, I had a pipeline of talent available or sources that I could go to for sought after talent. So by the time the position posted, I already had a plan or maybe even a person in hand already selected by the hiring team that had been referred by a member of that team for that role. And it prompted the hiring manager to post the position that they'd been procrastinating on. We always had a plan in the pipeline. So if you wait until a position is posted, you're getting in line between dozens, if not hundreds of people. And it doesn't matter whether you're qualified or not, or you're the perfect fit. You'll get lost in the mix. And to play that game, that kind of reactive search can be really dehumanizing. So if
Right.
you are constantly, while you're employed or in job search mode, focus on building relationships and having conversations about trying to figure out where the pain points are and how you might be able to alleviate them, those conversations organically evolve into opportunities, especially if you're working and you don't necessarily want to broadcast that you're exploring opportunities. You want to work your network. You want to have open-ended conversations that aren't transactional, that don't start with, is your company hiring? Do you know if you have any openings? Or I saw an opening. Can you help me get the job? Those put a lot of pressure on people. But
That's
if you
true.
ask, I'm really curious. We worked together once before. I'd love to get your feedback on insights. I'm in research mode and thinking about next steps in my career and doing some market research, and just thought I'd bounce some ideas off you and see what you might suggest in terms of helping me understand the market and how I can make myself a more attractive candidate. Now that's a conversation
Yes.
people will have. People love to give advice.
Yes, they do.
Yes, just
But
like
I love
us.
I love that because you can go in the conversation and it helps you, but you can then also help the person that you're talking to. So it's an exchange of ideas that helps both of you. So it is a win-win for everybody.
Right. And you can pull AI into that conversation to
Mhm.
help you frame your messaging. If you're not really sure what to say, you can stumble your way through a prompt and say, well, here's kind of what I'm thinking. I used to work with this person this way, and I'm trying to figure out the angle to take. And then after they've said, yeah, let's chat. How do I run the conversation? What questions should I ask? How do I frame it? What advice do you have? I'll say that to ChatGPT sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So if the listeners want to follow you or connect with you, what's the best place to find you?
You can
Obviously,
definitely
probably
find me.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn is great. My last name is, my name's a little distinctive. My website is empowercareerstudio.com. And I just published a book that you can find on that website as well, or on Amazon, Empower Your Job Search with AI, a future ready strategy for advancing your career. I don't think you can see it unless they put it right here. So anyway, that's my 10-second pitch.
That's awesome. So, as we wrap up, I love to leave the listeners with a small action item or a mindset shift change that they can make today. So, what is something the listeners, women listening, would you challenge them to do this week?
I challenge them to upload an AI tool onto their phone, like ChatGPT, and bring it to the kitchen with you when you cook dinner tonight, or any task you're about to perform, and start learning how to talk to it and asking it open-ended questions about things you do in your everyday life to learn how it communicates. Because we need to learn the language of AI. It's different than the language of our browser. Once you learn the language, you can approach it as far as your career is concerned with the right context and focus that will help AI give you deeper insights then that will really help you make informed decisions about how to manage your career.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Well, Kerri, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure. Truly my pleasure, Shannon. Thank you so much for having me.
If today's episode sparked something for you, a question, an idea, or a realization, don't ignore it. I offer promotion strategy calls where we walk through your current role, your goals, and how to position you for your next promotion or raise without burning out or overworking. You can book that call using the link in the description. And if this episode helped you, sharing it or leaving a quick review makes a bigger difference than you know. Until next time, keep showing your value clearly. You've earned it.